integers to find the difference. And we're going to rely heavily on the last lesson of adding integers. It turns out that we are going to simply change all subtraction problems to addition and then use the addition rules. So if you're still wondering how to add integers, you could go back to that lesson and keep working on it and then come back to this lesson. So integer subtraction rule. Change all subtraction to equivalent addition problems. Now the word equivalent is important. We can't just change subtraction to addition or we'll get a different answer. So the last part of the rule, equal value, is the key. So to change a subtraction problem to an addition problem, you change subtraction to addition and you change the sign of the number being added. So if you're subtracting a negative number, you add a positive number. If you're subtracting a negative number, then you add a positive number. So it has two parts. Change subtraction to addition, and change the sign of the number being subtracted. Once you've done that, then you use the integer addition rules. Here's some examples. 12 minus 3 becomes 12 plus a negative 3. Fifteen minus 18 becomes 15 plus a negative 18. Notice how the first number doesn't change. We don't change the sign of the first number. So this 12 is still 12. This 15 is still 15. This negative 3 is still negative 3. This negative 12 is still negative 12. But the sign of the second number, this is a positive 3 becomes a negative 3. This is a positive 18 becomes a negative 18. Positive 6 becomes negative 6. This negative 8, the opposite sign is positive, so that becomes positive. Convert subtraction to addition is the conclusion. So now let's do some examples. Example 1, negative 12 minus 5. That becomes negative 12 plus a negative 5. Negative 12 and negative 5 have the same sign, so we combine 12 and 5 to get 17 and use the sign negative. So what that means is negative 12 minus 5 is also negative 17. Example 2, 15 minus 20. That becomes 15 plus negative 20. (15) and negative 20 have different signs. That means that we find the difference. Remember, different signs, difference. I'm going to use a small positive color and a larger negative color. That means that I'm going to find the difference between 15 and 20, that's 5, and the answer is going to be negative. There's more negative than positive. So that means that 15 minus 20 is negative 5. Example 3 is negative 6 minus a negative 8. Negative 6 minus a negative 8 becomes negative 6 plus 8. They have different signs, so we're going to find the difference. I want to stop that so you can see negative 6 minus a negative 8 becomes negative 6 plus the opposite of negative 8 is positive 8. So I'm going to be making a small red circle and a larger green circle. I kind of paused on this one because this one looks a lot different than others. When we have to take a negative number and subtract a negative number, a lot of students will think that that automatically is going to have a negative answer. But we can see from our diagram there's more green, we find the difference, and so the answer is going to be positive. This will probably take a lot of repetition, so we need to practice a lot of problems. So even after taking notes, we're going to continue to keep practicing. Example 4 is 32 minus a negative 8. So that becomes 32 plus, the opposite of negative 8 is positive 8. 32 and 8 have the same signs, so when they're the same signs, you add, and that's just 40. That means that 32 minus a negative 8 is 40.